So I'm standing here in front of the final resting place of Gustav Mahler. This year would have been his 150th birthday, so there's a lot of celebration here around Vienna and around the world. And next year will be the celebration of 100 years after his death. He died at the age of 50. You can see on top of his grave there's stones, which is the Jewish tradition to place a stone on top of the grave instead of flowers, and he converted from Judaism to Catholicism in order to combat the anti-Semitism that revolved around him being the music director of the Vienna State Opera. So he converted for his gig. Mahler became music director of the Vienna State Opera in 1898 and was the most influential music director in the opera's history, replacing 2/3 of the orchestra, mounting new contemporary productions with the help of stage designer Alfred Roller, and hiring an entirely new collection of singers who could act as well as sing, eliminating the feeling of performances being just concerts in costumes. He was quoted as saying, "Tradition is not the keeping of the ash, but the preservation of the flame." Gustav Mahler was a very full-time conductor and only a part-time composer, doing most of his composition in the summertime. His conducting obligations took him all over Europe, but also to America. On January 1st, 1908, he made his Metropolitan Opera debut, conducting Wagner's Tristan and Isolde, and the following season, after he was named music director, he was actually asked to share his title of music director with the great Arturo Toscanini, so he had some competition. But at one point, he actually was the music director of both the New York Philharmonic and the Metropolitan Opera at the same time. It was in the summer of 1910 that he started work on his 10th Symphony. We're performing the Adagio from the 10th Symphony, which was the only part of that symphony he actually completed. The other 4 movements we only have sketches of. On February 21st, 1911, with a temperature of 104, he insisted on conducting a concert at Carnegie Hall, and this ended up being his final concert. In April of that year, he left New York to deal with his health. He had a permanent nurse, and he took a boat over to Europe and eventually ended up in Paris, where he was hospitalized, and then finally, as he knew he was coming to the end of his life, asked to be brought back to his home here in Vienna. The 10th Symphony Adagio is a beautiful and haunting piece that pushes the tonal music of late Romanticism to its limits. The music alternates between lush, heartbreaking melodies and an almost chromatic walk through another world. You can see here his handwritten sketch of the music which he never heard himself, as he died before he could complete the symphony. There is something special about exploring and experiencing the final notes that went through the mind of this great musical genius.